This is a very, very simple little hummus, only a few ingredients needed. I have standard tin of chickpeas. You can get these in a carton as well, which is even better. A 285 jar of sun-dried tomatoes in oil, and I've also just separated the water from the chickpeas but retained the water just to thin down the hummus if it's a little thick. A little bit of fresh basil, about 25 grams, and thereabouts, doesn't really matter, and a little bit of salt and pepper. That's all you need. So into a food processor, I'm going to add my chickpeas. I'm going to add about half the water because you don't want it too thick, and I'm going to add the entire jar of the tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, in oil. And with the oil, you shouldn't really have to add any more oil into this because there's probably going to be more than adequate in there. That's an olive oil as well. Avoid any with a seed oil. If you can only get the sun-dried tomatoes and seed oils, take out the oil and replace it by adding about the equivalent amount of olive oil yourself. Everything in there. Small little pinch of salt. You don't need to use a lot of salt because tomatoes have a lot of natural occurring kind of glutamates in them, so they have a lot of flavour. A little bit of pepper. I'm just going to keep a couple of nice sprigs of basil just for garnish, and the rest of the basil in there. Blend it up at high speed until it's nice and smooth and creamy. Now, having blended that for just a few minutes, you should have your nice smooth hummus. And then I'm just going to have a little taste. But this, again, very little to go wrong with this. Seasoning is fine. Actually, I'm just going to put a pinch more salt in there, but a tiny amount. And that's it. Now this is a little bit coarser. You could use the liquidizer and get this a lot finer. But for me, I like a little bit of coarseness in the hummus. And then it's only a case of, for me, it doesn't need a tiny little extra water. Into a little bowl and ready to serve. Ideally with some nice crisp vegetables, but I'm going to maybe use this for a wrap or something like a little bit later as well. Very, very simple little dish. And a handy one to have as a little kind of a filler-upper to avoid using maybe mayonnaises and especially things with seed oils. Very high fibre alternative. Couple little pieces of basil on that, and a little drop of oil on top. That's all you need for a very, very simple little spread.